Hello, how are you? It's me again. My name is Lee, and welcome back to this humanology one-man show comedy, uh, drunken rambling, whatever you call it. Yeah, stand-up comedy, sit-down comedy, one-man show. Okay, so thank you for coming back. Although right for as of now, there's nobody watching this except me. Uh, Yeah, so last time we talked about this gravity, this classical equation of universal gravity applied to humanology to explain this emotional energy that we call special copium. And yeah, M1, M2, new knowledge, my position on something and the other person's position. And for example, if I am anti-gay marriage and this person is pro-gay marriage, minus sign here, plus sign here, multiply together becomes negative. Okay, so that's my feeling against that person, and that person's feeling against me. So it's negative animosity. Okay, so there's anti, pro, something. Multiply together, it becomes negative. Okay. Down here we have old knowledge. Knowledge is the absolute value of the commonality, and commonality equal minus difference. Okay, so that's knowledge. Either if you are knowing somebody, you know either there are things that both of you agree or things that both of you disagree. Okay, we sum them all together. Okay, so absolute value of each. So knowledge, let's do some, let's go one level deeper here. Okay, knowledge, knowledge K, you can't quite see this, can you? Funny. It's kind of late today. I had a long day again. Knowledge K equals absolute value absolute value of commonality. Oh, sorry. And summation of that, sigma. If you know basic um, mathematics and physics, you are familiar with this sigma symbol. It means the summation of everything. Okay, sigma over I and commonality of I, meaning C1 plus absolute value of C1 plus absolute value of C2 plus blah 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 blah. So with you and that the other person, you're both anti-gay, okay? So that's C1, and you're both anti-abortion, C2, and so on, okay? And also, that person is anti-alcohol, but you are pro-alcohol. So there's difference, right? But we take the absolute value of that, so everything becomes positive, okay? So that's why sigma is outside of this absolute value. If we put this sigma inside of this absolute value, then things will cancel out. Then you and that person are anti-gay, and you are pro-alcohol, and that person is anti-alcohol. He hates drinking. Then if we put sigma inside of absolute value, then they each other cancel out. The knowledge becomes zero, and they would not be acceptable because you know that person. You know that person is anti-gay and anti-alcohol, while you are anti-gay and pro-alcohol. Okay, so knowledge shouldn't be shouldn't like cancel each other out. It's cumulative. That's why we put sigma outside of this uh, absolute value, absolute term. Okay, are you lost? Well, then this very basic algebra, mathematics. So if you are lost, well, sucks to be you. I'm just kidding. Yeah, just go back, do some Google search, absolute value, and this summation sigma is a Greek letter for S. It means summation of all these different things. Okay. Now that's that. Okay. So we're gonna talk about thermodynamics a little bit, humanological thermodynamics. Okay, but before going there, before we do that, let's cover just one more classical equation: F equal ma. Okay, it's Newton's law of motion. There are three Newton's law of motion. The first law of motion is the law of inertia. Okay, if an object, we're talking about object here, okay, but surprisingly, it applies to concept level as well. We don't know much about angel or God, but concept level, yeah, there's inertia, all right. And by object, in physics, we mean anything with mass or energy, okay. Yeah, mass, that's object. So plant, object like stone, rock, or plant, animal, human, we have mass. We have weight. How heavy are you? What, 200 pounds? I'm like 185 pounds, 165 pounds sometimes, depending on my schedule, whether I get to eat or not. All right, so that's weight or mass. There's difference between the two, but we are gonna simplify a little bit here for now. And so that's mass. M here, mass. A means acceleration and F means force. So an object has a mass, so it means it has inertia. We call it in physics inertial mass, meaning if this piece of rock is static, it's not moving, then it will stay static, motionless. That's inertia. But let's go to some space traveling in our imagination. Okay, so we go into the space, so there's no air, it's vacuum, and there's this rock. Okay, you just you are the astronaut. Okay, spacewalker or Luke Skywalker. I don't care how you call it. Okay, so you're in a spacesuit and you put this rock in the vacuum in the space. It's not moving, right? It's just there. There's no gravitation either. You are in the space outside this gravitational zone. Okay, far away from any planet or star. It's just you and this piece of stone. And you push it like this. Okay, then it starts moving. Okay, and is it accelerating? No, it's constant speed. 1 meter per second, 1 inch per second, whatever. Okay, so that's the first law of motion, Newton's first law of motion, inertia. It's either stay still with speed 0, or it has constant speed or like 2 meter per second. It's not changing its velocity. All right, it's 0 velocity or 2 meter per second, 2 inch per second. This constant speed. Okay. So maybe there was second law of motion. Okay, it's been a while, but I think there was second law of motion. Whatever. Okay, so there is another law of motion that is action and reaction, and it also applies to concept level as well. Okay, so let's say there is this wall, and you're pushing the wall, it would not move. Or you have this huge boulder in Boulder, Colorado. There's this huge boulder, humongous, gigantic boulder, or there's this huge elephant. You push it, it would not move. Okay, you push out, then it as if it pushes you. You are the one who gets like pushed back. If you push against the rock, then rock does not move. I mean, the boulder does not move, but you are the one who gets moved, as if the rock just pushed you. There's action and reaction. The same, the unit of force in physics is Newton, like 1 Newton, 2 Newton, or you can just say you push by like a force of 10 pounds, right? And but if that wall is not moving, then you get the push of 10 pounds. There's action and reaction. Okay? But if this is not the, yeah, I think that's the first law of motion, action and reaction. Second law of motion is the inertia, meaning if it's not the wall that you are pushing, but if it's a stone, something light, you push it, then it moves in a constant speed, constant velocity. Velocity is not, speed is nothing but the absolute value of velocity, or more technical term. In mathematics and physics, there are two kinds of mathematical entities. One of them is called scalar. You can scale scalar. Second thing is vector. I think we'd cover this. Okay, so scalar only have quantity. Okay, but it can have negative or positive value. Vector have quantity and direction. Okay, that's why in mathematics and physics we denote vector with this kind of arrow. It has starting point and ending point is direction, and it has this nice length of this arrow is the quantity of this vector. Okay. I'm not quite drawing this right, but you got the idea. Okay, so if it's scalar, it only have quantity, but it's vector, then it has this direction. Like arrow can be like this. Okay, it has this length, which is scalar, and direction. Like, is it west or east west? I mean, there's no east to west. Like northeast. That's the direction. So vector has quantity and direction. Scalar only has quantity, but scalar can be either negative or positive. So meaning scalar actually is a one-dimensional vector. Okay. Because positive and negative, that's the direction itself. Is it east or west? Positive, negative. Okay. Yeah, so scalar is one-dimensional vector. Okay, and what else? Okay, second law of emotion, law of motion of Newton, law of inertia. The third law of motion is this: F equal ma. All right, that's the final law of motion. Meaning, so when you push the wall, it would not move. Okay, that's action and reaction. But when you push a stone, it does move, but on a constant speed. But if you keep pushing the stone with the same amount of force, then it will start to accelerate, and it will keep accelerating. For example, if you drop an apple, if you just hold it here and just drop it, it goes down, but it does not go down with the constant speed. It actually accelerates. Why? Because the reason why apple goes down is what? Give you like 10 seconds. Gravitational force. All right. Any two objects have this gravitational pull as long as it has a mass. Okay, so it's like F equals G times m1 m2 over r squared. That's the gravitational force, right? And why is it r squared? It's called inverse squared law. It's because you have this mass, right? A stone. It forms this gravitational field, okay? And as you go farther away from the center of this stone, there's this sphere enveloping this stone, and this sphere's surface area gets bigger and bigger as this. So you have a stone and you have multiple balloons like onions, layer upon layer upon layer. And if you so you have initially one inch away from this center stone, and you have 2 inches away from this stone. So you have 2 balloons around this stone. 1 inch radius balloon and 2 inch radius balloon. If you compare these 2 balloons, these inner balloons have the surface area of something 4 pi r squared, I think. Okay, but so 4 pi squared, 4 pi times 1 inch squared, which is 4 pi. That's the surface area of this first balloon. The second balloon has the radius of 2 inches. So 4 pi times 2 squared equals 4 pi times 4 equals 16 squared. All right. So the point is this: pi r squared and pi r squared is the surface area. Okay, so that's how this gravitational force, gravitational field gets diluted as you get farther and farther away from the center stone. And it's the rate of this dilution of this gravitational field, force field, is squared, like pi r squared. That's why you have this inverse squared law. All right, so if you have physics and mathematics background, then this should be easy. But otherwise, just Google search, Wikipedia, inverse squared law, okay, or surface area of a sphere. All right, then hopefully you get it. Okay, so yeah, it's important that you study mathematics and physics if you want to understand humanology, right? So, where were we? Yeah. So, you have this gravitational field, this force of gravity. That's why apple, and it's being applied constantly as the apple falls down. It's not the case that the gravitational force just pulls this apple once and then forget about it. No, as the apple falls, the force is being applied constantly. Okay, so that's why there's this acceleration. Okay, and originally it used to be a equal f over m. That was the original. F equal ma is came after this. Okay, so acceleration is proportional to force and inversely proportional to mass. Meaning, acceleration means the change of velocity, change of speed. Okay, so there's this stone, okay, and it's static. You are in the space. It's not moving, all right. But if you push it, apply a force, then it changes its speed from 0 to 2 inches per second. Okay, so there's this acceleration very momentarily from 0 to 2 inches per second. Okay, that's acceleration. Acceleration is change of speed, change of velocity. Okay, or let's say you have a sling, you have this string, and at the end of that you have this ping pong ball tied to it, and you're doing this sling. Okay, you are just rotating this string, and with this ping pong ball attached at the end, you do this. Okay, so it has constant speed, like 2 inches per second, but it's constantly changing its direction, right? So there's acceleration there. Okay, and constantly applying this force. You're rotating it. Okay, that's how David versus Goliath. David has this sling and then threw at Goliath, right? Something like that. Well, maybe it was some sling like this with this rubber. And I'm not sure. I don't think they had rubber back then. There's like how many thousands years, hundreds of years ago before Christ. So I don't think they. What's the substitute for rubber? I have no idea. Okay, so yeah, but acceleration is change of velocity or change of speed. Is so the more force you apply to this stone, the more, uh, the faster it will go from its static state. There's a bigger acceleration, meaning bigger change of speed, right? So that's why this is proportional, acceleration is proportional to the force. Mass, however, if the stone is really big, this gigantic rock, you apply the same amount of force. It's not going to change its speed very much because it's a mass. It had huge mass, huge inertia. it would not move very easily. Okay. But if it's a small stone, then you apply the same force, then it will move very quickly, right? That's why it's acceleration is inverse proportional to the mass. Okay. So what does this mean in humanology? Um, Very easy. Okay. Let's say you are trying to persuade somebody, and some people, two people, one very young, the other very old. Which one is easier to persuade, to manipulate, or to change? Young people, right? That's the concept of mass. Age, experience, seniority, that's mass. The younger a person is, the smaller age the person has, easier it is to change that person. But if the person is very old, then it's very hard to change that person. Small acceleration with the same amount of force, meaning influence, force. Okay? So, yeah, let's leave it there, okay? Because we're gonna cover some thermodynamics today, like I promised. Of course, we're gonna have a 5 minute break. I didn't promise that, but I hope you would allow me to do that. Of course, you are not here, so whether you approve or not, I'm gonna take my 5 minutes break anyway. Okay, let us take a break. Alright, I'll be right back. such a long day today, and yeah, I liked it. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying. And this time of the day is my favorite time of the day because I'm drinking and I'm talking. All the other times, I just listening lectures, preaches, sermons, people saying things. Okay. Just like most of you, I'm a very lowest guy in the food chain. Computer programmer in Alaska, not just computer or junior computer programmer in Alaska. So I don't really get to say much, speak much, talk much. This time I'm doing all the talking because there's nobody. Okay, it's me and my vodka. Okay, so my favorite time of the day. All right, so uh, before we jump into the thermodynamics, humanological thermodynamics, I want to tell you some interesting story that happened today, and don't tell anybody. This is secret, okay? Oh man, it's so funny. Roller coaster ride. So I went to a political meeting, and I go to many different political meetings, but this particular meeting, people who come over there, many, not all, but many of them, they don't like drinking, and I'm a drinker. So they always meet at this restaurant that does not serve any alcoholic beverage, not even beer or wine. It's on purpose. Okay, I understand where they are coming from. It's anti-alcoholism, anti-alcoholists. Maybe they are friends and families of victims of this alcohol-induced violence, or victim friends and families of victims of car accident by drunk drivers. Yeah, I get that. Okay, so I'm not saying they are bad people. I do understand them, and no matter what their position about alcohol is, I love them. Come on, man. I don't hate people. Again, concept, human, they're two different things. Anti-alcoholism, that's a concept. People who subscribe to it, they are anti-alcoholists. They are member of that group, that concept. Okay, so I hate the sin. I never hate the sinner because I am a sinner too, right? But me drinking alcohol is not a sin. Why? Because I control my alcohol consumption. I think we talked about this. We call it Bacchusism. Bacchus is the Greek god of, no, Roman god of wine. Greek god of wine is Dionysus. Uh, the German philosopher, German philosopher of what, Nietzsche, Friedrich Nietzsche, something like that. Nietzsche, yeah, he talked about Dionysus. I think he liked him. Okay, so yeah, so you just need to know how to control your alcohol consumption. Like if you're pregnant, then you should not drink alcohol or smoke tobacco or smoke marijuana at all. You should not smoke marijuana or use any hemp or marijuana based product, period, because it impairs your memory, short-term memory. Without short-term memory, you cannot form long-term memory. So meaning, if you smoke marijuana, you cannot learn anything new. Okay, so it's bad for you. Nobody should smoke marijuana. Medical marijuana is BS. Why? Because, okay, it works at first, but sooner than later, it stops working. Marijuana doesn't do anything to your pain. Short term, yeah, it relieves your pain, but long term, it stops working. Why? Because your body adjusts to it, this marijuana, and just like pain medicine, you have to increase the dose. Just like any drug, you have to increase the dose, and it stops working at some point. Or you keep increasing the dose and you kill yourself. Okay, that's drug addicts. Marijuana, same thing. Okay, so but drugs, bad. But alcohol and tobacco, good only if you know how to control it. All right. So drinking and driving is bad because your motor. You saw me, right? I knocked this over. Yeah, your motor skill, your motor sense is impaired when you are drunk. So yeah, you should never drink and drive. I don't. When I drink in a bar, yeah, I stop drinking and drink just water and juice. I eat something, some food for like 2 to 3 hours, and then I start driving. Okay, and I have breathalyzer in my car. All right. So yeah, control the alcohol, control the tobacco is good. I understand people who oppose those things from personal reasons, like people, children of parents who died of lung cancer because their parents smoke way too much. Yeah, I understand why you oppose tobacco, and children who got abused, physically abused by parents who drank too much. Then yeah, I understand where you're coming from. But what I'm advocating for as a presidential candidate in 2020 in America is that controlled alcohol and controlled tobacco is a good thing. Uncontrolled tobacco, uncontrolled alcohol is bad thing. We need those things because if we don't do those alcohol controlled tobacco proper alcohol and proper tobacco, we do something worse like sugar and fat. We eat sugar and fat like cookies and chips and pizza and all this ice cream and pies and cakes. Then we get obese. It gets a lot worse, a lot worse. Okay. So like just compare Asians and uh, Americans. Okay, say Koreans and Americans. Koreans drink and smoke all the time, but they do not smoke marijuana, and they don't consume sugar and fat. Okay, not nearly as much as Americans do. Americans nowadays they smoke. They do not smoke. They do not drink alcohol. They do not smoke cigarettes because America a couple of decades ago started to stigmatize alcohol and tobacco. So people are afraid to smoke cigarettes, afraid to drink alcohol. But they need something to have fun, to relax, but they cannot smoke cigarettes, they cannot drink alcohol, so they go after something else as a substitute, like marijuana, tattoos, piercings, gay marriage, transgender bathroom, plastic surgery, opium, crystal meth, far worse things than tobacco and alcohol. America, 50 years ago, used to drink whiskey and smoke cigarettes. Just watch movies made back in 1950s, 1960s, black and white movies. Yeah, they smoked cigarettes and they drank whiskey, stirred but not shaken but not stirred. 007, where that's British 007 movie. But yeah, the entire West used to drink and smoke. It was beautiful back then. There were no tattoos, there were no obesity, there were no piercings. If you just take a look at the picture, black and white picture at the end of the World War II, in America, beautiful. Everybody looked like movie stars. They are slender, they are in shape, they were fashionable, no tattoos, no piercings. Everybody with fedora, even gangsters used to look like movie stars. You know, like the fedora, this raincoat, this suit and tie, no tattoos, no piercings, no obesity. That was 1950s America. Okay, obesity is not an American tradition. It's not American thing. It's something recent, something contemporary. It's America went bad. Okay, obesity, marijuana, tattoo, piercing, gay marriage, transgender surgery, is plastic surgery. That's not American virtue. It's a contemporary vice. It's not an American tradition. It's not. Okay. Oh, it's about freedom, liberty. No, no, no. It's something bad. Okay. So I'm running for president to stop all these things. I never get there. I mean, I may never get there. I may get there. I don't know. It's up to God. It's up to you. Because in humanology, God means people. I'm working for God, meaning I'm working for people. Okay, so it's up to God, meaning it's up to people like you. Because you are the voters. Okay? It's up to God, it's up to you. It's up to people. Whether I become president or not. It's not up to me. Right? And so so what happened earlier today is like I go to many political meetings, but this particular meeting, they always do it in a restaurant that does not serve any alcoholic beverage because I think the founders and senior members of this particular meeting group do not like alcohol at all. They don't tolerate it. So all the other meetings, yeah, they meet in a restaurant. They serve alcohol. They have no problem with it. But this particular one don't like alcohol and they don't tolerate it. I found that out today, and then I realized why they picked this particular restaurant that does not serve any alcoholic beverages because they don't like alcoholic beverages. So before that meeting, I had a very long day. Okay, so yeah, I went to another restaurant before going to this meeting, and I drank double shot of well whiskey, just two shots. And these two restaurants are very close by. Okay, so I drank, and I went to the other restaurant where the meeting is, and they smelled my alcoholic breath. They got upset because to these anti-alcoholists, drinking alcohol is the utter disrespect. That's how they interpret it. Okay, I have seen many people like this. They interpret alcoholic breath as the utter insult and disrespect. And that was not my intention. I had a long day and I'm gonna have long meeting, so I needed to relax. I had to. Okay? And I drank double shots of whiskey very slowly. Alright? They got upset. Oh, you come to a meeting with alcoholic breath, or you are not respecting, you have wrong attitude, you are a political newbie, but you drank, you show up to the meeting with like drunk. So they got upset. So they said some things to me. And I said, you know what? Yeah, with all due respect, this is my lifestyle and also my political platform as well. Controlled alcohol consumption prevents obesity, marijuana, and any drug addiction. So, and your organization is a political organization, and your member. I'm a member to your organization as a politician. So, my political platform and yours is incompatible. because you are anti-alcohol and I'm pro proper alcohol. So it's political incompatibility. So I resign from the membership of your organization. So I will never come here ever again. So I that's what happened earlier today. Okay. So yeah, politics is, if you are doing it right, it's a war. If you are doing it wrong, it's heaven. If you are doing the politics right, it's hell. If you are doing the politics wrong, it's heaven. Okay? It's a war if you are doing it right, or hell. Because to me, a good politician is a fighter, is a warrior. He is doing politics to fight the evil in the world. That's why I'm doing it. I'm a fighter. I get great kicks out of fighting. Metaphysical fighting, not fist kicking fighting. No, metaphysical fighting. Fighting against evil concepts, evil ideologies, evil isms like gay marriage, transgender, marijuana, tattoo, piercing. Okay, those are the things that I fight against. I don't fight people. I fight ideologies, behavioral trends. Okay? Whether I become the president in 2021 January or not is irrelevant. I'm doing this as a Christian to save people, to save America, to save the world. All right? Right now, nobody is watching this. Nobody. I checked. I have uploaded like more than 10 episodes of this. They're not watching it. It's like one or two views, which is me, or no views because I didn't like click it, but yeah, I can see it's uploaded. Okay, so I am all alone in Alaska. I'm doing this to save America and to save the world. Whether it's gonna happen or not, I don't know. Only God knows. So yeah, okay. Humanology, where we interpret, when we read humanologist, when we read Bible or any old classical script like Veda, Upanishad, Rig Veda, or like Quran or Confucius or Lao Tzu, when we read the word God, we interpret it as people. But that's one way. Another way is this: God, there is God who created everything, the universe. So God is God, it's not people. Okay? It's different ways of interpretation. Okay? Human knowledge does both things. Okay? So, yeah, so there is God who can time travel, who knows the future, all right? He knows whether I'm gonna be the president in 2020 or 2024 or at any time or not. I don't know. All I can do is just do my best and hope for the best. I don't know. I'm only human, and God never talks to me. I have nowhere to tell. So yeah, but it doesn't matter. It's not relevant. My job is to do my best to save the world. Because right now America is in the course of self-destruction. These lemmings marching toward the cliff with marijuana, tattoos, piercings. They make themselves very ugly, and they smoke marijuana. Their work performance go down, academic performance go down because they cannot remember a thing. okay, and do gay marriage and male gays, they're promiscuous because they are still males and males are promiscuous, and two males, yeah, there's no stopping this promiscuity because they both agree that they want diversity in their bedroom partners. They both want that. So they agree, they understand, so they do, even if they are married, gay married, these male gays, yeah, they sleep with other guys and they get AIDS or other STD, sexually transmittable diseases. They have anal sex, they bleed, so the disease spread very fast. There's male gays and lesbians. What do they do? They're two women, so they don't care how they look because women don't care about how other people. Men are very visually oriented, so if you're a wife of a husband, then yeah, you adorn yourself, you keep in shape to look attractive to your husband. Why? Because you don't want to lose your husband to another women, more attractive women. So you have incentive to look presentable and look pretty, keep in shape. But two lesbians, they don't have that incentive. So they let it go. They get obese. They do tattoos and piercings and they have to shave their hair and cut hair short like radical feminists, and then so they become very ugly. The world become more uglier place when there are more gays, when there are more feminist, radical feminists and lesbians. All right. So yeah, gayism is very harmful and very destructive. It's not something value neutral. No, it's very harmful. That's why I'm against gay marriage or transgender. Okay, you have transgender surgery. Nobody wanna date you. Why? Because you used to be a man and now you have this breast implementation, not implementation, breast implantation and breast implantation with silicone. So you used to be a man. You wanna be a woman. You have breast implantation and you cut off, surgically remove your male sexual organ and you implant some rubber pipe to simulate, to emulate female reproductive organ. Okay, guys will not want you because you are not a genuine woman. Most guys would not want you. But okay, so now you're a woman, supposedly, okay, quote unquote woman. Will you date a lesbian? Would a lesbian want you? Because a lesbian, I think, I would guess they would want real woman. So you are alone. You cannot get a date easily. Much harder for you. So you are lonely now. That's why transgenders, they are the single group that has the highest rate of suicide because you are alone, and people who are alone, like me, tend to think about suicide. Do I think about suicide? Well, that's a loaded question, and so I'm running for president, and I'm recording this. I'm saying all these things that is so offensive to you, to probably all of you, most of you. I'm against tattoos, piercings, gay marriage, transgender bathroom, marijuana, plastic surgery, obesity. That's 99% of Americans. And I'm saying this out here publicly. And I upload it to YouTube and everybody can see this. That's very suicidal. That can be thought as very suicidal. I can get fired. by saying all these things. Do I care? No. Is it because I'm suicidal? Maybe. Maybe because I'm so lonely and oh, my life is miserable and I want to end all this. I want to go to Alaskan outback forest and try to hunter and gather our life and for a while and just die of starvation or disease or freeze to death or starve to death. My death wish, whatever. Maybe. But that's not the whole story, if any. I'm doing this because I'm Christian, all right? I mean, I don't go to one church, I go to many churches because I'm a politician wannabe. Okay, so I have to reach out to as many people as possible. But that organizational religion aside, I'm a Christian at heart. I believe in God, I believe in Jesus, all right? So I actually do and live and breathe what Bible teaches me. I have read Bible 3 times. Twice in Korean, once in English, King James Bible. So yeah, I actually do what they teach me. Jesus said, if you are willing to die for me, then you will live. But if you try to live uh, violating my commandments, then you will lose your life. I actually believe in that, what Jesus said. Actually do it. Okay? So, yeah, it's true that by saying all these things, running for president, yeah, I can lose my job and starve to death. And if I get known to be this local crazy guy, computer programmer in Alaska wanting to be the president in 2020, in a computer programmer in Alaska running for president of the United States in 2.5 years against the mighty Donald J. Trump, the incumbent president. Yeah, people will think I'm crazy. So they may fire me. And new employers, they will know me that I'm crazy. They will think I'm crazy and they will not hire me. Yeah, I may starve to death, okay? I am 1 inch away from death, starvation of death, okay? And I don't care, okay? Because as long as I live, as long as I'm alive, I will do everything I can to try to save people from their self destruction. This, this hegemony, this control of evil concepts possessing them, this what we Christians call demons. I don't even know how to pronounce it. This evil spirit possessing somebody and paralyzing rationality and reason and make them gay, make them tattoo themselves, pierce themselves, make them smoke marijuana, make them do plastic surgery, make them do all this uncontrolled intake of sugar and fat. Yeah, I want to save them. At least I want to save their children from them, their own parents. Because all these bad habits, children inherit those evils. Evils get inherited because children learn from their parents. I want to protect your kids and your grandkids from you. That's why I'm doing all this. Whether I'm gonna succeed or not in this venture, in this venue, that's irrelevant. My job is to do my best to save you or your kids and your grandkids from this possession of the evil, this uh, devil, whatever, demons or evil ideologies, harmful isms. Okay, that's my mission, in my opinion. That's, in my humble opinion, that's why God created me, and that's why God gave me all this knowledge and wisdom. All right. So, as long as I breathe, I will do my job. If I die, so be it. I don't give I don't give an F. I don't care. Because I don't have anything to lose. My life isn't that fun. It's okay. I'm not unhappy, but I'm not that happy either because I don't have a date. I don't have a girlfriend. I don't get to have sex. Okay, so I don't get to eat pizza, ice cream, all these delicious things. No. So my life is not miserable, but it's not that fun either. So I have nothing to lose. So yeah, I'm throwing my hat, but not my towel, to the ring, and I'm willing to die for this. Okay, but of course, to live is more difficult than to die. Okay, so I do my best to survive every single day. I drive safe. I observe the speed limit. I don't drink and drive. Okay, and I'm nice to people. I do my job as a computer programmer every single day. I sit in front of the computer screen all day, 5 days a week, 8 hours a week, 8 hours a day. Okay, and I do my job very well. Okay, just ask my employer. I'm not gonna tell you who my employer is, but I always get my job done very fast and very well. Okay, but my political view is very unpopular one. Okay, it's I'm this one guy in America who oppose tattoos, piercings, gay marriage, transgender bathroom, and marijuana. There's maybe there are some Americans who do that, but I'm outspoken about it. Okay, and that may cost my job, my career, my life. I don't care. Okay. Okay, so let's take one more break and we'll do some thermodynamics and some other things about God, and then we call it a day. behind my back. Sorry, that was a very long break. And if you're worried, no, I did not commit suicide. Not this time. I'm just kidding. I won't. It's against everything I stand for. Committing suicide is an easy way out, and I do believe in, as a Christian, existence of heaven and hell, and suicide is like quitting a job against your employer's will, employer being God. So I think if I just shoot myself in the head, I have a gun. If I shoot myself, like, it's just easy, right? One finger, like here, like this, whatever, right? It's too easy. It's easy way out, and to live for the justice, to live for the truth and righteousness is a lot harder than to die. Okay, so don't commit suicide, all right? I don't. I won't. So yeah, I'm a fighter. Yeah, there are bad times, but I enjoy it. It's That's what makes our lives exciting. Okay, challenges and setbacks and obstacles. That's what makes it dramatic. Dramatic. And not sure if you understand any word coming out of my mouth, but yeah, it's fun. I like it. I'm a fighter. I like fighting, metaphysical fighting. Okay, so let's talk about God. Yeah, I promise you, we'll talk about thermodynamics application in humanology. Let's talk about God. So all this evil in humanology is created by God, because God is the only one and only creator. So God created gayism, homosexuality. God created it, right? Incest is not very prevalent at all. Incestism is not prevalent, but gayism is very prevalent. It's dominant. Homosexuality is one of the chief religion of America today. Even Donald J. Trump, the great Donald J. Trump, approved gay marriage. He went to Elton John's gay wedding and he said, "Oh, it's a beautiful couple, gay couple, beautiful love, beautiful couple, beautiful marriage." Okay, he said that. So yeah, all the politicians, if they approve gay marriage, they worship gay marriage just like 99% of Americans do. It's a religion. They blindly worship something that is horrible. It's irrational. Irrational worship, it's a religion. Something irrational. Blind worship. That's the definition of religion in humanology. Okay? So, also marijuanaism is also religion. It's omnipresent, omnipotent. Marijuana you put everywhere in your skin. Marijuana oil, and you eat. You put in a cookie, and you put marijuana to cookie in the cookie, and you give it to your kids and send your kids to school with those marijuana cookies. Okay, that's America today. Okay, it's insane, irrational worship of marijuana. Marijuana is omnipotent. It's cure all. It makes anything bad go away. It makes you happy. It's the happiness giver. It's the God. Gay marriage, same. Transgender bathroom, transgender surgery, plastic surgery, tattoos, everywhere. You do tattoos and piercings everywhere in your body. It's the God. It's omnipresent, omnipotent. It's an addiction. It's a metaphysical disease, metaphysical pathogen. It's spreading to people and it's spreading on your body. Makes you ugly and it's stupid. It's irrational. You have piercings everywhere. You cannot wash very well. It gets in the way. That's why I cannot stand girls with piercings like here, and here, everywhere. Here, here. All these piercings, it gets in the way. It's stupid. It's irrational. You cannot wash very well. If girl has this piercing here and here, how can I kiss her? Okay, it's stupid. It gets in the way. When you dress up, you put on a clothing. It gets in the way, like catches, and it's stupid and it's dirty and it's ugly. Tattoos same. It's ugly. Okay, ugly as on F. Okay, irrational. Okay, and it's spreading. And one day, probably 10 years from now, if we don't stop all this tattoo pandemic, tattoo epidemic, then people will start to tattoo and pierce their babies. That's what's gonna happen. Why? Because it's only spreading. It's not shrinking, but it's spreading. Okay, they will start tattooing their babies. That's what's gonna happen in 10 years, unless we stop it. Okay, that's why I'm running for president. I know it is very unpopular position to oppose tattoos and piercings, and marijuana and gay marriage and transgender bathroom, but I'm doing it to save you, to save your kids and your grandkids. I don't care if I don't become a president. My job is to do my best, just like Jonah, the prophet in the Old Testament. God told prophet Jonah, go to this city, great city of Nineveh in the Old Testament. Tell them you need to repent. If you don't tell them to repent, then I will put this sin on you, Prophet Jonah. But if you tell them and they don't repent, then God, I will put this sin on them. You get off the hook because you did your job. Your job is to send the message of me, God. Your job is not to make them repent. Your job is to just to warn them. That's how I take it. Okay? Whether I get to save Americans or not, it's irrelevant to me. It's not relevant. I do care, but there's nothing I can do. All I can do is words. Talk to them like this. This video is accessible 24/7 anywhere in the world, but nobody's watching it. Then there's nothing I can do. I don't have money to advertise. I'm not famous. I'm not powerful. No. I just put God's words, not my words. Put God's word. In my opinion, I think that's what God want me to do. So, my opinion, my humble opinion, yeah, God want me to say these things. Whether it's gonna work or not, is beyond my pay grade. There's nothing I can do. I don't have much money. I barely pay my bills. After that, I don't have any money left. Okay? I don't have any debt, but I don't have much savings either. Maybe a couple $1,000 my savings account. So I do my job. My job is to warn you of all these evil ideologies possessing America and the West. After I say all these things, then my job is done. It's limited liability. Limited liability. My tongue is like drunk. Because there's nothing more I can do, right? If the world goes down, well, I would be very sorry to see the West, the America go down. I would be very sorry to see that happen. Because I love the West. Yeah, I'm an Eastern guy, but I love the West. I love Americans. I love America. I would be very sad and sorry to see it go down. So, but there's nothing I can do to stop it. But words to say these warnings that I think is from God. Okay, so but God did create all these evils. Okay, so there's gayism and incestism, but God somehow selected gayism to be the dominant evil of the world, not incestism. They're both of them are bad. Sodomy and incest, the capital sin. They used to be punishable by death. Okay, back in the Old Testament, Moses days, and in some countries, they are still punishable by death. Okay, so yeah, God created all this evil like ultra interracialism, like ethnic guys like me marrying beautiful, white, slender, young, fertile women because that's gonna wipe out the white race. All right, so God created all these evil ideologies. God created angels and devils and evil and good concepts. Holy Spirit, evil, unclean spirits. God created everything. So sometimes I do understand why God did that in a cinematographical point of view because I made a movie right in YouTube. It's in YouTube and it's called Therapy for Metrophobia. Uh, you don't have to watch it, but if you're interested, you can. It's out there. Uh, so yeah, I used to do some acting, something small like community theater in Los Angeles, student films, and believe it or not, they're very, very fierce competition even there because people come to Los Angeles from everywhere in the world. So to become an actor or model, all right. So yeah, I was one of them. Okay, so I tried to be an actor. So we don't get paid for those small things, but we have full time jobs, and I was a full time computer programmer. And so yeah, just you don't have to be a filmmaker or an actor to understand this. You watch a movie, there's a villain. Without a villain, there is no hero. Without evil, something bad in the movie becomes insipid, bland, not interesting, boring. So yeah, I think that's why God created all this evil in the world to make history, his story, more interesting. So we are nothing but actors in a theatrical stage in a play, and the playwright is God. He wrote all the history. The future is fixed. It's already written. We just don't know it. Okay? So free will is an illusion. You can imagine things. Oh, 1 second later, my finger will go this way. The next second, it will go this way. You can imagine those things, but it only happens one way. Okay, like 1 second from now, maybe my finger will go to the left or right. So I go to to the right or left. Okay, I can imagine these things, but it only happens only one way. Okay, not many ways. It ends up happening only one way. Our future. We can imagine several different possible ways, but it ends up happening only one way. Okay, so that's the humanological concept of fate. And revelation of the illusionness of the human free will. Okay, it's more philosophical point in humanology. And okay, so let's talk about thermodynamics. And the first law of thermodynamics is the conservation of energy mass. You cannot create or destroy energy or mass. It's already there. It just change shapes or change the location. You cannot create a mass from nothing, or you cannot destroy a mass into nothing. No. You can divide and change the location, position of those things, but you can move energy from here to here, the heat from here to there, but you cannot make it just disappear. You can disperse it, but they don't disappear. They are just scattered around. Okay. So, humanological application of that is this: you cannot make yourself happy without making another unhappy. I repeat. You cannot make yourself happy without making someone else unhappy. If you are happy right now, someone else is suffering from your happiness. Because happiness, you cannot just create it. You have to take it from someone else. Okay? So that's the happiness is a positive special copium in humanology. Okay? It's emotional energy. That's what special copium is. Okay? If you are happy, someone else is unhappy. Why? Because that person cannot share your happiness. For example, you're a man and you are dating this beautiful girl. You will make guys like me unhappy because I'll be jealous. I want to get a girl. I want to get a date. I want to have a girlfriend. I do. But girls don't like me. They like you. Okay. So I'm jealous. I'm suffering when I look at you, having fun with this beautiful girl. Okay, so you are taking happiness from me to you. It's a copium transfer. Copium transfer is a vector. Copium itself is a scalar. There's a negative copium, which is pain. Positive copium is which is happy, pleasure. All right. So I suffer from this pain of jealousy. You enjoy the pleasure of the superiority, because happiness is relative, right? You are happy to have this girlfriend because there are people like me who don't have a girlfriend, even if we want to. You are not convinced? Okay. Have you ever felt happiness about breathing, drinking water, breathing air? Have you ever felt happiness about it? Probably not, right? Why? Because me, a single guy, and you, a guy with a beautiful girlfriend, we are all breathing, we are all drinking water. So there's no difference between me, single me, and double you. No difference in terms of breathing and drinking water. That's why you don't feel any happiness about it, because there is no difference. But you have a girlfriend and I don't. That's why you feel happy, because there is difference. All right. So your happiness derives from me, a single guy. Okay. So that's just one example. Okay. If you are rich, you're happy because there are poor people. It's relative. Happiness is always comes from difference, relativity. That's the happiness. Okay. So we talked about dualism, right? In the past, you dived deep into the water without this air tank, so you're suffocating. You wanted to breathe, and later on, yeah, you get to breathe, right? So yeah, happiness comes from your past too. That's the temporal transfer of copium. It's within you. It's fixed space. In time, you're transferring happiness from your past to your present. You under the water, and now you are breathing. Okay? But at the same time, me on the ground, watching you suffering under the ground, like 2 minutes ago, I feel happiness. Why? Because you are suffering and I'm breathing. So yeah, relative happiness. I am glad that I'm not under the water. But when you start breathing, you are so happy. Me, not that much. I'm jealous of your happiness. Okay, I'm exaggerating a little bit for illustration purpose. Okay, so you are in college and you are studying very hard. You're wrestling with books in the library. Me, I'm partying, drinking and dancing with girls. Hypothetically, I never get to dance with girls. That girls don't want to dance with me because they can smell me. They can smell my weirdness, my poverty, my powerlessness, namelessness. They can smell it, so they will never dance with me. Okay, but hypothetically, you are wrestling with books, and I'm having sex with women in bed. You're wrestling with books. I'm wrestling with women in bed, on bed. Okay. You feel bad. I feel good. Later on, when we graduate, I don't get a job because my GPA is not horrible, horrible, because I didn't study. I don't get any job. I'm jobless, unemployed. You, because your GPA is so high, you get a six-digit figure job off the college. Okay, you're happy. I'm unhappy. Okay, that's the principle of dualism. Plus minus, then plus minus minus plus. Our fate changes. Me, you from misery to happiness. Me from uh, bliss to misery. Unha- this happiness to unhappiness. You from unhappiness to happiness. This dualism, and we have went over this before, so I'm not gonna draw it again. But yeah, so that's the conservation of copium, the law of conservation of copium, thermodynamics. Okay. The second law of thermodynamics is the law of entropy, entropy. Okay, so the second law of thermodynamics says in natural process entropy increases. Entropy means the degree of chaos. So the second law of thermodynamics says in nature things tend to go chaotic. Easy example, just look at your house or apartment. Just let it be. If things tend to go chaotic, things go everywhere. It gets dusty, it gets dirty. Okay, because the probability, law of probability. Okay, if you have billiard balls and you throw all the different colors of billiard, the pool on a pool table, it will never go this one line. It will be like these billiard balls everywhere on the table. Okay, it's low probability. it's more likely to be chaotic than this orderly state. Because there's only one way to do this one line, to form a one line from 1 to 8 or 1 to 9. I don't know, I don't play pools. Yeah, there's only one way to do this, from south to north, 1 to 9, okay? 8, I don't know. Only one way to do this. But there are many ways, and many ways to be chaotic. Like pools everywhere. There are many more ways. That's why things tend to go chaotic, disorderly. Okay, that's the law of entropy, the second law of thermodynamics. And the application of in humanology is this. Yeah, that's how things are in our human world. There are many ways to go wrong, but there's only one way to do it right. That's the morality, the rule, the wall. It's like a conduit, aqueduct that guides this water to go only one way and not everywhere, right? That's why you have this cup, this wall. It's the rule, morality, law, so that the water is contained, or vodka is contained, right? So that it doesn't splash everywhere, it doesn't stain your clothing. No, it's contained, right? So, in humanology, that's the reason why we need morality and ethics and law to guide human behavior, human conduct, to keep it in line. Do you have children? Okay, then you will understand this. Children want to go everywhere, but you correct them, you contain them. Do not go there, do not jump off the cliff, do not dive and stay in the water. No, you stay on the ground. You don't jump off the cliff, you don't bury yourself, you don't try to like fly in the sky, or you don't try to go underwater. No, you live on the ground. Okay? There's only one way to survive, to live and breathe on the ground. Not off the cliff, not jumping off the air from the airplane, not going under the water, not burying yourself under the ground. No, on top of the ground. There's only one way to survive. Okay? One way to live. There are many other ways to die. You can jump off the bridge, you can stop breathing, you can bury yourself alive, you can jump to the water, you can get eaten by a bear or by a tiger, trampled by elephants. There are so many ways to die, but there's only one way to live. You eat, you breathe, you drink water, and you shelter yourself in a home with heating or cooling. You clothe yourself. There's only one way to live. Okay? That's what we call norm. Alright? So, yeah. Otherwise, there's so many ways to go wrong. Okay? So, humanological application of second law of thermodynamics is that law, the necessity of morality, ethics, and law. Okay? Because there's so many ways to go wrong. There's only one way to do it right. Okay? Alright, so let's finish here, okay? Alright, good night. Bye.